Hey, Drew, what time is it?
You know.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains fly under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
It's true. It's me.
It is.
I know. They were disappointed. They were expecting Brittany, bitch. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Drew's News, everybody. We have a nice little assortment of some stories for you. So let's jump right in. First up, we have this April, aka, in a few days, Jubilee is reuniting with a long-lost cousin in Jubilee Deadly Reunion by the Eisner Award-winning writer Gene Luen Yang and rising star Michael Yee. This is a Marvel Voices one-shot celebrating Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, where Jubilee explores her Chinese heritage and her family history. But when a long-lost cousin shows up at the X-Men's door with mutant powers of his own, this family duo embarks on an action-packed adventure where they must come face-to-face with her past. But Jubilee may find her familial bonds aren't as strong as she'd hope. What secrets does her cousin hold? What dangerous mutant power is he wielding? So you have, like I said, the story, which is written by Gene Luen Yang, and art by Michael YG, plus that awesome cover by Fan Yang. Essentially, the writer said that many Asian Americans feel a certain amount of separation between ourselves and our cultural heritage. So by confronting the gap, you learn something about who you are. That's basically what she's going to do. She's going to visit San Francisco, Chinatown, a place that seems like it should be comfortable for her, but isn't. He feels that Jubilee's positivity, bright colors, friendly, loves to joke around, is also kind of, I want to say masks, but it kind of conceals her tragedy, the unimaginable loss she suffered at a young age. So, and for those who don't know, since she lost both her parents as a kid, she's pretty much grown up with the X-Men, going from teen sidekick to trusted mentor, lately in the pages of Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and company. But like I said, this is not a simple family reunion since the cousin, Eason Cheng, has secrets of his own. The artist says he's absolutely thrilled to design this new character, seen with circular sound waves on his chest, which is his signature symbol, but the dots represent protecting the ones he loves, with himself in the center. So, yeah. So, like I said, Kari was showing some fantastic variant covers as well, plus some inside pages there. So it's always nice to see some of the popular X-Men getting a little time to shine, whether it's a one-shot, whether it's a miniseries. So, yeah, I mean, this looks great, and it's just nice to see creators who really understand the character exploring more and more of them, not just in terms of superheroism, but their own personal cultural identity.
Yeah. This cover, I don't know if you've played it before, but it reminds me a lot of like Final Fantasy X. It kind of has that vibe to it.
It's definitely got that kind of vibe. Side note, if you are interested in everything, guys, this comes out April 29th. But you were saying, Karen?
Oh, it just like Una could just be jumping out of the thing there, is what
Fair
it
enough.
looked like to me. I was like, so pretty.
Very nice.
So
Yeah, no,
fun.
absolutely. The covers are gorgeous. So,
Yeah.
I think the next
That's
one
really
begs a very familiar question. What
if.
if? So, as we see here, this May, Marvel Stormbreakers, that eclectic group of upcoming and pretty much talented artists, are tackling their latest project, by shattering the multiverse with what if variant covers. So this collection here celebrates 50 years of Marvel's what if storytelling with new twists on many of our favorite characters. So we have 8 covers here. So they're going to be asking interesting questions like the one right there by, I'm pretty sure that's by Simone DeMeo. That's if Spider-Man, Sinister Six were his greatest allies.
Interesting.
Yes, you got right there. That's Girahuru. So that is if Captain Marvel was a Skrull. Right there, that what if by Netho Diaz is what if Daredevil's accident gave him Hulk powers?
Okay, I have to ask, why does he get antenna? Is there something I'm missing in the Daredevil or Hulk world that?
No, I think the point being is Daredevil's horns, so they get gamma radiated. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking like, why is he rocking Loki horns? But
yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Right.
It
is cool looking though.
Oh yeah,
well, this
Netho Diaz. This is crazy.
Jeff Shaw's cover's insane.
Yeah, well, Jeff Shaw is a great artist. I mean, they all are, but yeah. This is if Iron Man's Extremis was a symbiote.
Ooh.
So I was like, well, that's terrifying. That is Jonas Schaff's. That's if the Punisher had Magic's Eldritch armor. Oh boy. I don't know. I feel like anything with the Punisher, and I was like, ugh, Frank's gonna get too OP.
Frank doesn't have any guns though. What's he gonna do?
He's gonna use magic.
All right, next.
Oh, this covers wonderful. I mean, I think this is great. This is Luciano Vecchio. This is if Rogue became the Sorcerer Supreme.
I think that Mahana needs this. MJ, this is the cover for you.
100% something I can see MJ doing. Especially, you know how much he loves Rogue.
Yeah, I can see her cosplaying just this cover because it would be great. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. This one was weird to me.
This is if Wolverine controlled his adamantium like Colossus. And that's by Juan Frigeri. It's got a kind of Lionel Ute kind of feel to it.
Yeah, I'd never thought of it like that. Like, oh, what if he could do that? I didn't realize that, feel like.
Mm-hmm. What's next?
All right. Next up, last one.
If the X-Men were heralds of Galactus. And this is by Alessandro Cappuccio. Wow. That's crazy. So.
Yeah.
I
think it's for the pretty though.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is all part of the 50th anniversary. You're going to have a ton of new one-shots coming out from every corner of the Marvel universe, starting in June with What If Uncanny X-Men issue 1, where Gerry Duggan and Jan Bazaldúa are asking, what if Cyclops had stayed with Madeline Pryor?
Life would be a hell of a lot easier.
Pun intended. And then, of course, coming that month as well is Torunn Grønbekk's and Sergio Davila's What If Thor issue 1, where they ask, what if Thor got Spider-Man's symbiote suit?
Oh my.
I know.
That's
what if indeed?
Is he worthy to lift the hammer though? Because does the symbiote
make him unworthy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question
to find out.
Yep. All right. Next up is one that I shouldn't be surprised with, but I actually kind of am.
And it's another MJ story too.
Pretty much. This July, we will discover the legend of Gambit's journey from New Orleans thief to mutant hero in Gambit Wanted by Chris Claremont, coming back with another retro series set during his Uncanny X-Men run Or, as it's put, get ready, mes amis. As Gambit, the mutant thief hero, travels back to his hometown for an explosive showdown. Set in the time frame when Gambit returned Storm to what was left of the X-Men, figure out how Gambit came to join the team for the first time and the trial that made it so. Because apparently Sunbuns got mutants in their crosshairs down in New Orleans, and when they hire Bullseye to target Gambit, get ready for the most kinetic showdown of the month. So this is just another in a slew of retro series by Chris Claremont. So we already saw Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, Extreme X-Men, Gambit's 2022 series, and then of course there's been a slew of other retro series. Like I think like Wolverine Outback was one of them. Yeah, I think there was like one Madripoor Nights is another one too. So Claremont says, I just enjoy returning to Gambit because when I first created him, I didn't have much of a chance to build his backstory. I gave him the dichotomy of being both a hero and a thief, creating just a fertile patch for stories with that conflict. So this is when he first meets the X-Men and kind of just helps to explore why he decided to give up his unfettered life of doing whatever the hell he wanted in New Orleans, and then becoming bound to the X-Men, which would change everything. And then, of course, the artist there, Robert Gill, who was recently working on Dungeons of Doom, he is just saying, wow, this is a complete surprise. It's such a surreal experience. So, I mean, clearly one of those, hi, I'm a fan, and I can't believe I'm here. So, Carrie was flipping through a bunch of the covers there. So you got Lena Liu gracing us with a boss cover there of Gambit. Then you had the Wanted variants by Phil Noto, the foil variant cover by Chris Anka. Oh yeah, the black and whites. Those are pretty good. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, those were the only covers I had. Were those first three were all that were shared. So
okay. Okay.
And then this is the interiors that we have. So
Fair enough. Well, we also have there's a foil by Chris Anka. There's going to be a gorgeous Stanley Art Germ Lau cover. Jasmine Putri, Steven Segovia are doing variants. This is on sale starting July 22nd, and I know Gambit fans like our collaborator Mahana, aka MJ, they're going to eat this right up. It's literally like blowing up playing cards.
oh my goodness,
I know.
It's beautiful.
Well, here's something that I'm going to be spending my money on because, well, yeah.
I have to tell you, when I first saw this, I was not familiar that it was even a return of. I didn't know that it existed. And a friend named Dan, who's got a band that's basically him, and whenever other people show up, they do, that goes by Dean the Bible McNeil. And he's got a song called The Giant Mecha Christ. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, there's Giant Mecha Christ outside. But anyway.
Get out.
Ta-da! We have Giant Robot Hellboy returns.
Yes, I know. And it basically was, as it started, it put Hellboy inside a giant mecha robot molded after his own notably demonic image. So it's getting a sequel. Giant Robot Hellboy Returns, which is just in time for Hellboy Day, which also happens to be the 32nd anniversary of the publication of the original Hellboy comic. It's a 2-issue limited series by Mike Mignola, drawn by his previous frequent collaborator, Duncan Fegredo, with colors by Dave Stewart and letters by Clem Robbins. So this right there, as you see, is a main cover by Fegredo and a variant cover by Ben Stenbeck. So the synopsis reads, after Hellboy is kidnapped and connected to a massive mecha Hellboy for a mission on a mysterious faraway island, giant robot Hellboy disappears. Scientists comb the seas looking for him but find more than they bargained when an international portal threatens to pull them in or let monsters of unknown origins out. This will be released July 22nd of this year. And apparently this all started, Carrie, as a funny drawing. It was a joke. But enough people loved it, and it just became one of the weirder yet more memorable stories of Hellboy's existence.
I mean, you can't go wrong with weird with Hellboy.
Oh,
It's
no,
it,
absolutely
it
not.
it's all fun. And you know who else you can't go wrong with?
I can only guess. I'm pretty sure it's a man named Mark Millar.
Mark Miller, actually. So you got it a
Oh.
little wrong. But yeah.
You're right. Millar, same guy. So he is returning to Dark Horse with a new series called Starcrossed by Italy's Corrado Mastanuono. Colors by
Mastantuono.
Yeah, there you go. What you just said. Colors by Niso Mastanuono and lettering by Clem Robbins. This is a 5-part series, which is a follow-up to Miller's 2019 Space Bandits and also Sharky the Bounty Hunter. We'll see the protagonists of both comics clashing over the Space Bandits robbing the universe's richest woman. So the synopsis says, when the universally famous Space Bandits robbed the richest woman in the universe, they expected a little trouble and a bounty on their heads. But they didn't expect the number to be so high that every single bounty hunter in the galaxy would be on their tails wherever they go. So this is his first new series from Dark Horse since Nemesis Forever, which wrapped up back in January. So this, well, between the announcement of that series and this one, Miller, who has been doing a lot of his projects like Psychic Sam and The Conquered on Kickstarter instead, which, correct me if I'm Carrie, I think you might have covered one of those. I believe it was Psychic Sam once.
Yeah.
So
we did.
Yep. So Starcrossed issue 1 is going to be released on July 8th. It has covers by Mastantuono and Stuart Immonen, which will be available in both color and black and white, as well as variants by Jay Lee and June Chung. So already everything just looks great. So it's really hard to argue. I mean, with all due respect, Carrie, it's going to sell. Like,
it is.
Like, if there's one thing you can say about Mark Miller, no matter what, he has such a great following and reputation. I mean, you have to love everything he writes, but you know the name alone will sell.
Oh yeah, and it'll be up for a miniseries on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say don't forget, it'll already have a movie deal before the first issue drops, because that's what he does. So yeah, he literally coined. Well, this is a story I know that you are going to read.
I am, and I have so many questions about it that I know you can't give me answers to, but let's check this out because it does look really cool and explain what you can about it.
I'll do my best. So, Mad Cave Studios has announced Land of Never, which is another twisted take on Peter Pan by writer Steve Orlando, artist Miguel Mora, who did Megadeth's Death by Design, colorist Ferris Mace, and letterer Mika Myers. So this is a psychological thriller following a disgraced former pathologist who believes his daughter was kidnapped by a mass brute he briefly saw but is unable to prove it. So the story goes, and I'm reading it as verbatim. 6 months ago, Jim Hoke's daughter Wendy disappeared from her room. All Jim caught was a glimpse of a hulking figure at the window. That's easily written off as a hallucination. No one believes Jim's story, and 6 months later, the retired pathologist is just looking for anyone who'll still believe. Even if he finds someone, should they believe him? He had already retired early to plant evidence against an alleged killer, so his word doesn't mean much, and it means even less with him as a suspect in Wendy's disappearance. So he can't leave town, he can't forget what he saw, and he doesn't get any sleep due to these horrific nightmares. So when Wendy's disappearance is declared a cold case, he believes he's the only one who cares about finding his daughter, and all he's got is a withered Father's Day card in his pocket to remind him. So he decides to do his best, step it up, go into business for himself, tracking leads and harassing anyone polite enough to listen to the story, diving into rabbit hole after rabbit hole until he meets someone else like him. And then another, and then another. Before he knows it, he finds an entire community of people who've lost someone to a cryptid they call the Floating Man. So now, with the abductor having a name, his obsession has direction, and he's got to track down the Floating Man, uncover the crimes, and free not only his daughter, but everyone else who's been lost. And Kari, knowing you, I'm sure you know that Jim Hoke is a nod to how the
James
roles
Hook.
of Captain Hook and Wendy Darling's father are usually portrayed by the same actor.
Yes, yes. And
So it's that, yeah.
I was just circling the screen like, oh, the the Floating Man is. Look at him.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. So with The Land of Never, they're throwing an intense lens on childhood innocence, shepherdship, and parenting. But basically, like, with that comes Kari's bread and butter, dark horror, and intense crime with a big infusion of Lord of the Flies.
Yep.
So,
And that's one of the things about Mad Cave that's awesome. Okay, I have to ask, when you saw this, first thought Happy Death Day?
yeah, the cover, absolutely.
Yeah.
It has that kind of feel to it. And on top of it,
And you see him and it's like, it's not a mask. Oh my God, that's what he really looks like.
exactly.
Or
So
maybe it is a mask.
So Kari, issue 1 drops June 17th, and you already showed the main cover, and then you also showed a awesome variant cover we just saw by Sebastian Priest. Again, this looks absolutely fantastic. Like literally, the first thing I said is, "Boy, Kari, you'll love this."
I've been reading. There's the Last Boy instead of the Lost Boys.
Right. Well, Dan
Going on right
Panofsky
now.
series, right?
Yeah, and that's going really good, by the way, guys, if you're at all liking it. And it's like everybody else grew up except for Peter Pan. But this one I'm confused slightly about because it seems to be focusing on them being on like Wendy being kidnapped and other people having, I'm assuming those will be the lost boys that have also gone missing.
Probably.
That he's going to find out and go looking for. But I'm wondering, because it didn't say anywhere whether we're actually going to see anything in Neverland or not. Or
Time will tell, Kari. You know, all great killers have a lair. So
yeah.
But yeah, so that's essentially everything news-wise. So I guess I should wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this segment of the news. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that as well. We work really hard to make sure we get the best guests we can. So you following us is kind of a big thumbs up that we're doing a great job. Make sure you check out our interviews earlier this week. We had on the great Joe St. Pierre coming back, and we also had the great Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner coming back to talk about Feral. Both shows were absolutely great, so I really recommend you catching up if you haven't already. And if you did, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more, because by God, April's going to be great.
Yep. Oh, who are we going to see on Saturday, by the way, Drew?
Oh, yes. Saturday, we also have a special guest completing the creative duo of Penny and the Yeti. We have the great Jimmy Gaspiero coming on to talk more and more about the book that he's worked on with the great Amber Akin, who we had on earlier in February. So very exciting, very pumped. And that's just this week alone, everybody. You should see what we got next week.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot going on, folks. Like Drew said, subscribe, like, stay tuned. We got you covered.
We got you covered.
Bye, everybody.
Hey!